meets the sea. Catching fish is where I'll be, come rain or sunny skies. I'm gonna grab my fishing line, yes, we're taking out some time. That's fishing. This has been a fishing tale, just like Jonah and the whale. No place I'd rather be. Yes, we're casting out a line, everybody's feeling fine. That's fishing. That's fishing.
Well, g'day.
Yeah, that's fishing.
Okay, wait. Zip.
G'day, welcome to That's Fishing. My name's Paul Carter, and I'm here tonight to talk to you guys a little bit about eggy fishing or squid fishing. Now, tonight what we've done is we've held a bit of a technical seminar for the people in Melbourne. We've held it at Morty Alec's favourite store, which is owned by Lee Rayner and Mornay Mueller. But in the next couple of minutes, you'll see what we've done tomorrow, which is take a group of 6 people out from the clinic we've done tonight and teach them a bit more about catching squid. So we're going to hit Western Port Bay with well-known charter operator Wayne Blake, and we're going to show you a thing or two about a thing or two when it comes to squid jigs, working squid jigs, and the action of squid rods. Sit back and enjoy your show.
Second one of the morning, Brian, on the orange. It's on the UDSL from Megabass. It's actually got the sinker inside it. This one darts a lot further sideways than a lot of the other jigs. And it's actually only got prongs on the top, not the bottom, so you can actually let it right down onto the bottom. So if these squid are hiding down the bottom, Brian, then that's where you're going to get them. If you notice that, that's a scar. This one's been actually coupling up or mating. And a bit on the bottom there too. A little female. We'll keep them all live in there, and that way we can upsize. There's no law to say that once you get your bag limit, you can actually release those live fish or squid to get a bigger size fish. Or the opposite, if you've got big snapper and you like eating the smaller ones, you can actually change them over.
Sort of, and I've just popped it out there in the water now. We're going to let it sink as close to the bottom as we can. The squid are sitting low and hugging the weeds, so if we don't put the jig where the squid are, we're not going to catch the squid. So once it has hit the bottom, the style that Dwayne mentioned before, that Japanese style, is really aggressive. So I'll just be careful I don't take Brian out with the camera there. And what that does is the first one will lift it up off the bottom, and the subsequent twitches after will just swing it left to right and left to right, and it gets that squid excited and they just want to chase down that jig for a feed. So I'll keep at it and there we go.
Colour change.
Makes a difference.
Yep.
The water's running in the background, getting more fresh.
This one here, you won't see it too well on camera, but actually as you change it, the light changes from the angle. It's another Megabass. So this one actually, when it darts one way, it might be green, and it darts the other way and it goes that purpley sort of colour. A lot of squid are cannibalistic, so that could actually resemble a squid changing colour.
Okay, we'll just go back to some jigs there, folks. What we talked about last night at our clinic was the different colours of foils that sit underneath the cloth, and on this one, as you can clearly see, that's very, very red underneath the cloth. And the reds are great for low light. When you haven't got a lot of light, they refract the light better, so the squids can see the jig better. What we're doing now, that sun's coming up, as you can clearly see on my face. We're going to change to a goldy colour. With this sun as it's just sitting on the horizon, it works a little bit better with that gold. and they refract the light a lot better than the red does now. So as that sun comes up again to about 11:30 in the morning, we're going to go to a silvery colour or a holographic colour or a green or a blue, just to they reflect the water different because the UV spectrums that come through the water are different at different stages of the day. So off to a gold colour now and we'll see how we go. There, you got him on both candles there.
Yeah, that's
Coming in for a taste, that one. Rather than a
aggressive strike.
And the green colour.
Yep. Look at the way it's reflecting the light now.
Taking a bit of line. I think I've been another one behind that one.
Just leave that much line out, Bill. Just grab hold of
Again, bud.
Yeah, mate. Once you actually get these squid on the surface, you can actually get them in pretty quick. While they're down deep, they're sucking in all the water here, putting a lot of weight on, actual sort of like a parachute. So if you can get their head out of the water, you can actually get them gliding along pretty fast. Probably a small one, but we'll work out what we're going to let go at the end.
Good stuff.
Here's a real good one.
There's another one. Or is it at the bottom? Or is it a spot? No, bottom.
You've got a hand lift these up, are you, Paul?
I am, mate. That'll do. You just step back and bring your line towards us.
And that's a decent one.
Nice one.
Beautiful. Oh, good one.
Beautiful.
Oh, he's a ripper. Well,
Just get a bit of light on this there camera.
well, that's what it's about.
He's a keeper. Just, yeah, I'd say so.
Another good one.
Good shot that.
Nearly got me too. Another good one. Get him up. Oh,
That's my PB.
I'll get you. It's all water now.
Not ink,
got
that's
all
my
of us.
I'll get you to hold him like this.
let me
boys.
just wipe the...
Put your hand underneath him.
Yeah.
You can fan that out and hold that jig up as high as you can to keep him straight.
I better wipe the lens, Paul.
Okay, mate.
I better wipe the lens twice.
Yeah, and your eye.
It's a nice fish.
Don't forget to smile.
Nice, good. You should be happy with that one.
There's a beauty. Yeah.
I'll get him in the live tank, mate.
Okay guys, we're just turned the boat around, moved back out, so we'll give the other side of the boat a go. And we just caught some pretty big ones, so bit of luck, the other side of the boat will get some. Back in just a bit.
That'll do. That's over that same area again too.
Give us a look, Paul.
Put him in the lot
Oh,
there.
that's a nice looking one.
He's got a hold of me. He's gonna go. So what I'll do is I'll point it at the other boys.
No, we won't be doing that.
That's a decent sort of squid, bud.
Very nice squid. You see where them hooks are set right down close near the head? That's because last night we were talking to the guys there about setting their hooks and they're not on the end of the tentacles, they're closer to the head, so which makes for a nice solid hook up and you can see he's not going nowhere. So
That's right.
I'll give him back to Darren for a sec. I'm going to get a nice photo with him with that fish. It's a nice one. So well done, mate.
Always a good end.
Hold on to the jig there. Camera. Oh, good big.
Fellas, come here. Bring it in close. There you go.
There she be.
There she blew.
Still half a load in there.
Didn't you shoot his bolt?
Yeah, we're talking, me and Darren just talking about weights then. That squid's probably only kilo, 1.2. A lot of other guys will get confused about the size. What we'll do is we'll actually measure it. Sort of that kilo range is around about 40 centimetres. So we'll measure the hood, which is on the top there to the point. And that'll give us a rough idea.
You're measuring it. Explain your measuring.
So we're measuring the length of the hood. So he's 34 centimetres. Around about a kilo.
That's right to the very point there.
Yep.
So once you cut that off, it's really what I class as 31.
31 centimetre tube. We just hit a good patch again here, Brian. Just on the start of the rise, we're in around about 2.8. That's exactly the same areas where those squid came from before, and we went round and had another drift on them. Just lift him in. I did a colour change too and went back to red. It's good to watch what everyone else is using and actually have something different out whilst it's quiet, and then adjust to what everyone's using or catching on. That's another nice squid, that's a female.
Not fair. I'm holding the camera again.
See those bands there? That indicates it's a female. There's 3 bands. The other thing is the females, when we turn it around, actually have a slightly more rounder tube at the bottom, not so pointy. That squid is probably only 25, 28 days old, that size. In the line of fire.
Good. Gonna photo of that one naked?
Oh, yeah.
Just leave the jig in him. Hold the jig. Let Brian have a good look at it too.
Oh, nice one.
I'll take that lens down there, better ways out.
Alright.
Yeah.
I would have bought the jig rather than the line.
Yeah. I bought a jig. Yeah.
Yep.
Then you can turn him whatever angle you want to turn him on, he'll go that way.
There'll be
Okay.
some news. There'll be a few surprises. when
Don't
the new
point him
boat
at
comes.
me.
Nah.
There you go, I'm pointing.
Good.
What we've got here, folks, you probably hear that noise in the background, and what we're doing is we're keeping the pump going in the live well, because one of the problems that people have when they put squid in a live bait tank is they turn the motor off on the pump, which stops fresh water coming into the tank. And what happens, squid have got a product in their ink called melanin, and when that melanin comes into the water, squid take most of their oxygen in through their protein body, and the melanin blocks all the pores where they take the oxygen in, and they die pretty quick. So do yourselves a favour, if you've got a live well, keep the pump going and they'll live for hours and hours and on end.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they share them all around, mate.
Still look great, don't they, in that light when that hits?
That mob.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
excellent branch banging new rod I'm trying. The guys from Japan have sent that one over for us to have a look at. So
And that's a proper eggy.
That's why I took the phone out of my pocket.
that is, yeah, that's a violence jerk which comes from Japan and designed just to work these things. So
So specifically designed.
absolutely. So because these things are a bit bulky and heavy when you cast them and when you work them, they're not like a little soft plastic. They're actually designed to work the jigs through the water a lot better. So yeah, we're getting back out there again.
Yeah, I got his mate.
You got his mate, Darren? That just goes to show that trick. Once you hook up on one, you get a jig behind it, and you'll find that the mate that's sitting next to him will come and grab the other jig. So worked a treat that time.
It's a nice size squid.
It is nice. And I was just saying a minute ago, we were talking about setting jigs. A lot of the time over here what we do is we just wind, but this time what I've done is I've set it like I'd set a snapper hook. And you can see it's grabbed nice and high up near the head, which means it's not coming off that jig, so it saves hooking them up on a tentacle. We'll grab this other one here now in a second. And we'll have the pigeon pen. Now this one looks a bit bigger than my one too, so we just go back.
So actually, he's not actually that well, is he?
You're all right, Becky. Oh, you right there? Lovely job.
Oh,
That's a nice pair of squid that come off that same area within a couple of metres of each
Both
other.
female.
Yeah,
we'll put them
both on
together and
those,
have a look.
both on those jigs we were talking about before from Gancraft. Lovely jigs, and I believe somebody else is on behind us. So we'll get these blokes in the live well.
This is where you got the phone call, eh?
What about that one, boys?
That one committed
Lovely
suicide.
job. That's a male.
Lift it up and give us a look.
How'd you tell those, Wayne? Between the male and female?
One's got spots and one's got females have these 3 bars there. If you turn him over, you see he's really pointy. Female will be quite round. When you're holding them, if you actually hold over the squirt tube like that with your fingers, when he does squirt, you can actually direct it at Darren's back of his head.
I can hear that. I'm not looking around.
Not.
No, please, good go.
Will annoy a few people,
It's okay.
Ain't got too bad. Can you set the hook? Look at that. Straight in the noggin.
on you both.
Beautiful. And on the white jig.
It's a new white jig, aren't they?
The white
They
jig
did
that
have
big
one
guy
the same,
swap.
but it didn't have the eyeliner on it. Didn't have any pink up near the head.
Better show us.
Put it back. Tied knots in it. That's how good they are.
Show us the white jig. That's a white one's been catching all.
Yeah, Paul. Passing beyond me, mate.
Sean was smoking dope with a
Nah,
guy
it's not
called
that
Benny.
big.
Mate. Benny dobbed him in.
I'll tell you.
Oh.
I told you about his brother.
Sorry.
Yeah, right.
He used to work. What, you got a white jig, haven't you?
Yeah, it's only a baby though.
Yeah. And the word that got back to me,
There he is.
you were the one that put the end.
Right, because I've got everything ever.
Watch seems to be working for you.
But I know.
Yeah.
I could show you
Works
text
in
messages
Sereno,
on my
works
phone.
in...
As we explained earlier, we had a good educational night last night at one of the tackle stores in Melbourne. We've just come back out again on the water today and you've seen some of the squid we've caught. I hope everyone's got something out of it. We have had a great time. I caught some great squid, as you can clearly see, but the wind has got the better of us and we've had to come back into sunny downtown Hastings to finish up the day. So big thanks to Gwayne for taking us out. How did you find it, Gwayne?
It's good, mate. Yeah, actually learn a bit.
Did you learn a bit?
I did learn a bit.
Yes.
it's good to see the squid are actually on so well at the moment. I mean, they're not exact monsters, but they're still good sized squid. And it's only the start of our season, so it's going to be a good season, I reckon.
Good thing. And we know they're out there spawning. They'll be back in spawning a lot heavier soon. So, the end of a great day, folks. That's fishing.
That's fishing. If anyone wants to catch up with me, just go on to Brian's site at thatsfishing.com.au and you'll get all the information about my charters. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
G'day folks and welcome to Tackle Talk. With so many jigs on the market nowadays, it's really getting hard to find which jig is right to use at what time. Now, companies like Gancraft, for example, have everything covered from the cloth jigs like we see here, and the hard body versions, which are really new on the market and have revolutionised the way we fish for squid. The cloth ones, as you can see here, also have what's called a foil underneath. Now what that does is it reflects light better so that the squid can see. The cloth slows the jig down a little bit more so as you can get that squid sinking or drifting in the strike zone for longer and more often. What the hard bodies do, once I get this one in the packet, now they've got a much shinier surface and smoother surface, and what they do is they sink a lot faster and they dart a lot tighter, because obviously they're not trying to push water aside because they're just much more hydrodynamic and they will move through the water a lot better. Now that's a size 4, which is pretty uncommon until recently in Australia. Most people used the 2.5 size jigs, but nowadays we've worked out that these little squid will still take a big jig like that and not so much on the 2.5s. Now because these ones do sink a little bit faster, we use these a lot in Western Port or places where there's a lot of current. But what the folks at Gancraft have done for us is they've given us this version here, which is a slow version, which means it'll sink a little bit slower but still give you that same tight darting action compared to the cloth jigs. Well folks, thanks for joining us on That's Fishing tonight while Brian has a bit of a rest behind that camera. We hope you've learned a thing or two when it comes to these lovely things called squid jigs. If any of you need any more information about the squid clinics that we hold, you can check out thatsfishing.com.au and you'll get my information or a direct link to me so as you can see what we do and when we do it.